So Leo, the second fire sign, rules the heart, rules the willpower. Leos are the kings and the queens of the zodiac. So wherever you have Leo rising, your sun, your moon, any planets in Leo, you would look for them. So Jupiter and Aries are in their ninth house, so there should be travels, adventure, maybe going back to school, legal matters. Jupiter rules justice, and just a big expansion in everything you love. Optimism, should be very happy, very positive for Leos. Jupiter is in Taurus in their 10th house of worldly success after May the 16th. So, Leos always want to be the big king and the boss. So this can be a good time for you after May the 16th to reap those rewards and really display your soul, put your heart on your sleeve. That's what Leo's all about. You always know how a Leo feels. They want to be center of attention. Although there are shy Leos, of course, it depends on where the sun is in Leo in your chart, which house it's in. But you want to, display your leadership. You want to be sovereign, okay? Saturn and Pisces in the 8th house, so there could be inheritance, deep soul changes, like a lot of rebirth, or like a new spiritual sense of themselves, Leo. Because they're very fiery, they're very passionate, right? This is more internal, more feminine, Saturn and Pisces. Kind of wondering about the mysteries of life, more wondering about, who you really are at a much more subtle level, like, because Leos can get wrapped up in their egos, Uranus and Taurus in their 10th house again, so that can be a big change in your career, a radical change in how you want to be known in the world and your reputation, which so it can be a little chaotic as well. Neptune and Pisces in the 8th house, so they're going to get into occult things. They could be into detective work and their dream world, working with their shadows, working with addictions, so a lot of things that they've been denying from themselves. It's a good time to work on that. A lot of spiritual growth, I would say, a lot of creativity this year. Leo is a creative sign. And then Pluto in Aquarius is just at the beginning of their 7th house of commitments and marriage traditionally. So major radical changes in who you're attracted to and in how you go out into the world. That's going to be a 20-year long change in your partnerships, in like, who am I compared to everybody else. And then Venus is going to go retrograde in Leo in their 1st house, so it's a change in their self-identity, their values, how they make money, in their heart. Leos always have to do what's in their heart, or else they can literally have heart attacks. The heart is really the big brain, not this part. This is just the organizing system. Listen to your heart. That's all you have to do. So, Leos really express exactly how they feel. So for Leo, it's going to be very fiery, very passionate, but making a lot of money could be really good for their career, and also understanding themselves on a much deeper level, much more spiritual and creative level. So if you're a Leo's creative, there's going to be a much more spiritual, imaginative side coming into your life that you're going to channel, literally. And your dreams could be very powerful this year. So I would tell them to really use it for inspiration.
I think this is going to be a good year for Leo overall. I do. I think that finances do need to be addressed, though. So maybe the Leos had some question about, it's not that they don't have so much money, is they don't have so much money building back up to their expenses. So they're spending way more than they have coming in. And that's because they're creating. And I think because in that creation mode, they've got to spend a lot of money, but they're doing a good job. They're putting some good things out there, but they will have to face some restrictions in general. And maybe they don't really like not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, I think they have to watch debt, because Neptune and Pisces in the 8th house, you could be losing money. You could be addicted to something without realizing it, or the money's just disappearing somewhere and you don't even know where it's going, right? Or you're overspending on something and not realizing that you're kind of caught in this shadow here. So I think that's important. And you'll have to take responsibility for that. That's really important.
Yeah, it does look like there might be a spendthrift when it comes to maybe eating out or buying certain things, maybe not. Maybe they need to be a little more budget-wise and take a lunch to work, for instance, that type of a thing. Could be that simple. It could be simple things like that, just to sort of scale back. They want to be more active in the world. They probably want more travel, but won't be able to do that. And I think that's going to depress them or make them sad. And I think that could be maybe some of them who want to go, let's say they want to go to California. they can't because they need to have a vaccination and they don't have it, or something like that. Those types of things I think are going to be seen in this year. Limitations, restrictions, those types of things, and it's because of their own decisions. You know, they've decided they don't want the vax. I'll just use it as an example, and so now they can't do something else that they want to do, and that's going to irritate them. That's going to aggravate them, and this might put them in a position of being very involved in what we were talking about in terms of the revolution. So, I mean, if we could do sort of a Zodiac mileage mark and see who's who in the revolution, we may find a heck of a lot of Leos.
Well, the thing about, so Leo is getting through like the last 2.5 years of Saturn being opposite their sign. So Saturn has really been pulling the reins and restricting them. And now with Pluto in Aquarius, Leo has to get off the throne. They have to realize I don't have power unless I share my power. So that's really what Leo has to look at right now. And I think that just starts to dawn on them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, I have a feeling many Leos will find love this year. Many Leos may find love. And especially if you Leos have been sitting around without that love and, you know, being the pouty kitty, I think this year you're going to get some action, and it's going to make some really nice changes in your life. And again, though, there may be some difficulties. Let's say you're falling in love with someone in the States or another country. And again, maybe you're not vaccinated. And again, you can't go. This is going to peeve you off.
Well, I would say that, you know, Venus is going to be in Leo for a long time. So Leos are definitely going to get the love this year. So Venus enters Leo around June the 5th or so, and it's going to be there until October. So that's a long time. So, you know, definitely a good year for Leos to make money, to get the love, to start a new relationship, to really open their heart. And they have to, there might be some heart healing that they really need to do as well.
Yeah.
You know,
that could be why the delay is there, right? That could be why. And you're right, especially with the money too. So that maybe the year starts out where you don't have the love and you don't have the money that you want. But I'm going to say with a little bit of kick-ass Leo style, you're going to get exactly what it is you want and what you need by the latter part of the year.
Okay, they could be bitter, and they have to be careful not to get bitter, not to get hardened. You know what I mean? Like your heart's been aching or hurt. You don't want to shut it down so much that you go, you know, like, I can't open it up anymore, you know, and you're going to have to be compassionate with yourself as well. Okay.
Yeah. So. And remember the old days, you know, so if you did turn into a crabby Leo, if you did, and then you got to catch yourself and you got to recognize, you know, where do you want to put that fire? What do you want to put that fire? And I think the problem has been that many Leos haven't been being loved the way they need. And that's what I think the last few years have been for many Leos.
Well, you know what? Leos like to have fun, and it hasn't been really fun. So
it's been terrible.
It's going to dampen their spirit. Like all the fire signs, you know, they can get really down, you know. So like the Leos are going to feel like, oh, life isn't fun anymore. Like I know what that feels like. You forgot what it's like to have fun. You've forgotten to be joyful and just feel like that inner child and just happy. So kind of coming back into that joy of just, I'm alive. How wonderful is that? Let's party. Life's a party.
Yeah. And this is the Knight of Wands, and that's what it's all about, is, you know, really super living life and being passionate about it all. And there's even this, I got some interesting cards. Leos, you maybe have been very reserved. Well, it's time to stop being reserved. Right. So if you know, be risky. I let the playful you have some time on this earth. Leo, this is time for the Leo to have some fun and not be worried about gossip and not be worried about other people's opinions, and just go do you and don't tell anyone. How's that? Right. We'll say this, it might be many of you have experienced a bit of depression, and it could be the whole thing that we've just experienced. But I would like you to look into it. You know, what do you need to do to help that? If it's as simple as going for a walk every day and getting some sun, do it. If you need to get a SADS light, go ahead and do that. If you need to take vitamin C, if you need, you know, what is it you need? Vitamin D, St. John's wort, face it, take it, do it. You'll feel so much better for it.
But that's what Leos naturally do. So I think they're going to remember who they really are.
I love that. They'll remember. Yes.
So they wear their hearts on their sleeves, you know, and they do love to party, and they're like the inner child, right?
Yeah. I wonder too, I was thinking about people who have Venus in Leo. and
Right.
they're probably going to be the first ones that get the guy.
Yeah.